Our mission is to provide sanctuary and a continuum of care to heal, empower, and employ women survivors of sex trafficking and exploitation. And this year, which is new for us, is we've always focused on restorative care from a residential perspective. We have not done community work other than when we go out to a fundraiser, or sometimes a church will invite us to speak about the topic and to address that it's happening here. But last year, one of our partners closed it. They had a drop-in center in Allentown where you were. You came that day we picked up the furniture to bring here.
Yep.
And they closed. They really shut down all services last September. And so what we have done through a very small grant, and just really feel God has opened this door for us to hire an outreach manager and actually start doing those activities on the street that they had done for the past 10 years. I think they have been around. But
So they were at that location for 10 years.
yeah, they were
Wow.
there. They might have been there for 8 years, but they've been doing community advocacy, educating the community, kind of doing awareness campaigns around this issue of trafficking and exploitation. So we, in a step of faith, a huge step of faith, I will tell you, is we hired Shaniqua.
Yeah.
She was an intern for us last year. She is a survivor herself.
Wow.
And speaks. She went and finished school, got her master's degree,
Oh my
and
gosh.
she came to work for us in January,
So
mid-January.
now she's crushing it with you guys.
She is doing outstanding work. We just started working with youth at in Center City, Allentown.
Yeah.
At one of the laundry programs that we've been going to every Tuesday. We started a youth prevention program, really
Wow.
teaching them about safety, about using their voice and how their body is under their control.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty powerful. She showed us some of the material. She just started last week, but it's going to be every Tuesday from 4 to 6, working with youth. And of course, you do that, you connect with the parents.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited about that opportunity to do that. And so she's already had, I think, 6 kids last week, and we're hoping to connect with more than 100 children this year at this weekly program. And certainly that would equate to working with their families as well.
Is there like an age range for that? you
5 to 21
5 to
we're
21.
working with in that age grade. So Shaniqua has a lot of experience with teens.
Mhm.
She's done a lot of ministry work in her private life, working with youth, just really understanding what it's like to be a youth on the run. Her past includes some time in foster care, which she shares openly, and so she really does have a heart for showing kids that there's a way to live, that they can be free from some of the violence that life in the street brings.
Wow. So, can you think of like maybe one or two stories that you'd like to share with us? Because we always love to hear like
The impact?
some of the impact that is
Yeah.
made. I know we did like one donation. It was like a lot of
Laundry detergent.
lodging detergent, a lot of like just kind of more of on that simple
Yes.
stuff, like just like the basics. Like, how did
Yeah.
that work out for you guys?
Well, I think we have about 8 left, 8 of the laundry buckets left, but laundry detergent is really important just because, right, what we do is provide 2 years at no cost to the women that come to us. And while they are all eligible for food stamps, all of them come to us unemployed. They've been couch surfing, they've been, they're unhoused, don't have employment or legitimate employment that's sustainable to living on your own. So what we provide is a roof over their head, a warm and safe place to live, and all access to the community resources that they're eligible for, and then we supplement where they're needed. So food stamps doesn't cover things like paper products, laundry detergent.
Sure.
So honestly, laundry detergent's really great
Yeah.
because it enables
Has
them
there been, I guess I'm trying to think.
Let me tell you our story about our recent graduate. I don't know if
Okay.
you saw some of the stories that they shared, but she came to us more than 2 years ago. She finished her 2-year program last November and ended up staying a little bit longer with us just because she's a single mom in her early 30s
Yeah.
and really just trying to put her life back together after lots of trauma in her youth. And then kind of getting caught up in some criminal activity and spent some time in jail. So really limited her opportunities to find safe employment. And when it came to her moving, she ended up getting a job through one of our partners where she's been for 2 years, and she's been a stellar employee. She's really
Wow.
she really moved up in the ranks and is leading a team there. She is a hard worker and has an incredible work ethic, but her lifestyle was just kind of holding her back.
Sure.
But now she's been able to put all of her great features forward, but ran into trouble with housing in this market, and with her criminal background really ran into, how do I find a landlord who's willing to take a chance on me?
Yeah.
But the remarkable thing was that she found someone. In February 1st, she moved into her own apartment, and I think within a week her 2 children moved in with her full-time as well, and they've been away from her for quite some time. So to see her and her 2 kids live in a safe place that was furnished with donated furniture, I mean, within a couple of days, people just showed up with things. And
Wow.
I was there on a Saturday where her pastor came, who
Jeez.
baptized her almost to the day 2 years before. He, prayed over this new home, and she's now
Wow.
living there with her 2 kids.
What does it take as far as costs to house and support one person?
Person, we
throughout the
estimate
year?
between $25,000 and $30,000 a
So
year.
about 25 to 30,000. And then how many people do you guys end up supporting throughout the year?
Right now, we can care for 21 women and 4 kids.
Wow.
Last January, we opened up our home for pregnant and parenting moms, and we can have 4 women, and each one of them can have 1 child living there.
What about I know you guys do have an optional thing where you can do more of a Bible study.
We do. I mean, our program is faith-based.
Yep.
Our whole reason for doing this is we really believe God loves survivors
Yeah.
and wants to provide, a safe place for them where they can learn about His love and how that makes us whole.
Yeah.
And while we want to be really careful about not exchanging any faith,
For the
following
service.
faith for the service that we provide, we really want to make sure that it's an invitation.
Yep.
And so we have volunteers that are willing to come in and get to know the women, and they come in and cook dinner. And
That's cool.
oftentimes that leads to them saying, can we talk to you about, why we're here,
Yeah.
and what gives us hope, that lasting hope that is really supernatural. And
Yeah.
it leads to conversations. It's led to women getting baptized, to going to groups at their church, Bible studies. We really want to encourage women to find a church where they can be welcomed and connect to that really healthy community that we know exists. I mean,
Yeah.
we all have.
So it seems like you guys are really providing a good network for people that have been affected, but you're almost in a way discipling them, where it's not so much hey, just come get this service, but you're really with them for years.
Yeah, absolutely. At least 2 years. Some we work with, it may take months for them before they decide to come in. Now
Yeah.
we're forming relationships at the laundry with women who are unhoused and come to this free laundry every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's in an area of Allentown where there's known to be street prostitution, and we can give them, we go there with knapsacks, and we give them out
Jeez.
some shampoo, a bunch of supplies in a sack, and we include our card in there, and we can talk to them about, we want to give all of this to you at no cost. There's
Yeah.
nothing expected. And with that comes with why we're doing what we're doing.
Do you guys ever feel you guys ever feel in danger? I'm sure you guys are in certain challenging positions. You ever feel oh my gosh, I feel at danger in a way?
Unsafe. That's a great question, and honestly, I've been doing this for 8 years and have never felt unsafe. We work with, when we're interviewing someone before they come in, we make sure that they would not be in danger if they remained here or
Yeah.
came to us, nor would anyone else in our homes be in danger. So I think I feel more unsafe walking the streets at night or getting into my car from a grocery store,
Yeah.
just because I'm not aware of my surroundings. But
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
this work, while I think what the reality is, it's dangerous for the women when they're out there
Yeah.
on the streets, unhoused, looking for a place to stay, having to engage in transactional sex to get their needs met, or even to keep themselves safe. Many women, connect with the pimp because they want protection,
Yeah.
and that never is a safe situation. There's always violence.
Yeah. And how long has this been going on for, that you guys have had this this organization, that you've been able to help people? What kind of sparked that initial flame to be hey, Because this isn't an easy thing to pull off. I mean, you got to have the right people in place. You got to have support. I mean, you guys are totally like a nonprofit.
Right.
So
No
like,
government funding.
how do you guys get the support and like what did, I guess two questions. How did you get the support, and then what sparked the flame to even want to do something like this?
Well, I'm one of the founders of one of the merged organizations
Okay.
that came together in 2021. But I got started in this as a foster parent.
Wow.
Before 2010, my husband and I, for 5 years, were home to babies that their moms weren't safe to raise them. And as I got to know their stories and learned some of the challenges that they were experiencing, and several of them were trafficked here in the Lehigh Valley, one in particular in Easton. And she ended up having 2 more children, and I was with her in the delivery room when she had her third. Her life was an ongoing tragedy, and she was never safe.
Yeah.
And when I started looking for solutions that could be a safe place for her to go, there weren't any that existed.
Wow.
And this was that was 2009, I think, when she had her
2009.
third child.
Wow.
Yeah. So she ended up, unfortunately, passing away of an accidental overdose in a garage. She was brought to the emergency room and ultimately, lost her life. And it disturbed me to the point where I had to find a solution. And it unfolded through a series of events. I think it was certainly divine intervention every step of the way, because I didn't bring any experience to do this work, but definitely connected with others who did, and learned about a program in Nashville that was willing to teach us everything
Yeah.
we needed to know to open our first house, and we did. And since then, we've worked combined with this other organization with more than 200 women who have come through our doors. We have 5 homes, and really believe it's never too late to start over, and certainly want people to know, God's love, which is free,
Yeah.
but it's really up to them. We can provide the place to heal and an opportunity for that invitation to be there, but it's really up to them to give them free choice. And that's important to us,
Yeah.
because a lot of them come to us without feeling that they have agency, that they have voice.
Yeah.
And
So they're really coming from a lot of situations where people are choosing what they can do, and now they come here and now they actually have a choice. They can,
Right.
share their thoughts and things like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. You asked another question. I forgot what that one was. You wanted to know how we got started?
Yeah, and then like how do you guys
How
support?
do we raise money?
How do you guys raise money? Because like you're a nonprofit and you're not you don't get any funding from the government, correct?
Right.
So this is totally like donations and a lot of volunteer stuff.
And
like,
fundraising events.
And fundraising events. I know you guys have a great following on Facebook, and you guys are doing different events throughout the year. It's super cool. Every time I see it, I'm like, share that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. That's how we
Yeah.
get the word out. We really want people to know about the work we do, because, first of all, the women that we serve, they're really incredible. I mean, they're the ones doing the hard work.
Yeah.
And we get to talk to people about, that this is happening locally. We work with Homeland Security, FBI, local law enforcement, as well as treatment centers and the healthcare institutions here in the Lehigh Valley. We are the 8th large. Pennsylvania is number 8 in the country for the number of reported trafficking cases to the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
Wow.
And
So
that's
that's pretty
pretty
high.
remarkable. I think so, to be in the
Yeah.
top 10.
Yeah.
And I think what it does is really just goes to show that this is, with all the warehouses, we're sending goods. And it's kind of the same thing with women and probably with drugs and guns, who knows. But
Yeah.
with that high number, we know it's happening here in the Lehigh Valley. It's not just an issue for Philly and some of the larger cities.
I was gonna ask, like obviously these women have gone through a lot of mental trauma and things like that. Do you offer anything in regards to, therapy or anything like that? I feel like mental health is a huge thing that is involved with this, and I know that if it's not addressed and it's not taken care of, they may fall back into their old habits. So
Absolutely.
just because, again, like you said, they've gone through a lot of trauma. Do you guys
Right.
offer anything like that? And then when they're here for 2 years, do you guys still extend out to them and check up on them and see how they're doing after that as well?
Absolutely. Yes, to that. We provide the residential side of things. We
Mm-hmm.
provide the residents in the community for them to start over, and we connect with community partners for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important because we don't want to replicate a service that already exists in the community. And then we also want our graduates to feel that when they leave our program,
Mm-hmm.
they can use the community resources for a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, because we all know mental health is something to always take care of, right?
Yeah.
Just like we take care of our physical health, take care of our mental health. But absolutely, the women come to us, a lot of them have PTSD.
Yeah.
They have health issues that haven't been addressed, some of them for decades. So it's important to us that we work with partners that are trauma informed and understand some of the unique challenges that this experience brings when they come to us. But they do a lot of hard work, a lot of groups.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first 3 months that they're with us, they're not working, and they're going to therapy almost every single day.
Yeah, and that's mentally exhausting.
Yes, yeah. So we try to incorporate a lot of fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So we have celebrations. We do equine therapy. We, go to the beach. They do. Each home has a residence manager, a caseworker that's working with them to plan activities to make sure that there's a balance
Yeah.
of life between the healing and the fun part.
Yeah. So what about you guys? I mean, I'm sure you guys worked somewhat in more of like a corporate or like a job that you were actually making like really great money, and then maybe to transfer something to
Oh.
this where it's like it's a bit of a sacrifice, but it seems like it's probably even more of a reward.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can go.
If you guys want to talk a little
Okay.
bit about like that, I'm sure
Like
you guys are really smart.
personally?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are like really smart people. I mean, you could be doing anything you want to do, but you
Well, I
guys
think-
landed in
so
this.
Well,
you
for
say
me, for me, I came to work at Bloom in June of 2021 after losing a job because of COVID.
Mhm.
And I had done fundraising with United Way and Red Cross. And when I started looking for positions, I happened to have a friend who volunteers for Bloom. And she said, "Oh, you have to come to this event. You have to
Yeah.
come." And I had wanted to come for years to find out what they were doing, but just didn't because of time. So now I had time and I went, and I ended up meeting Carol, and we just clicked. A lot of it was because of our faith, I'm sure. I know that was, for me it was. And,
Mhm.
but at the time they were looking for somebody to help with development. So my husband and I talked about it, and yeah, I took less pay, but you know what? It's been worth it. Yeah. Especially when you see the women's lives transform over time, and you have a woman that comes in that maybe can't even look you in the eye when they first come. Maybe their hands are shaking, or they can't sit still. And then, 9 months later or a year later, they've started working. They now look at you in the eye and they smile, and you're just like, this is why we're doing what we're doing. And then
Yeah.
when they get their kids back, and when you start to see them acting like a real family with their child, and then when we see them move out and they're independent, you're just like, because we stay in
Wow.
touch with these ladies, and they stay in touch with us, because it really does end up being a sisterhood. That's part of the vision, is that it would be a lifelong sisterhood for these women, and they're
We
amazing.
really are.
Mhm.
It gives us
They
a
make
lot of
our
strength.
hearts smile.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, I can't think of any more questions. I don't know if you guys have any questions for us or.
Well, why do you do this? I
Yeah.
guess. I
Yeah,
mean,
why do you do what you
you're
do?
extremely generous.
Sure.
Like I said,
We
when I
are so
first met you,
grateful. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I went to, there's an event, it's called Revolt. And through Revolt, it kind of challenged you in some different ways of like leaving more of a legacy behind, and why do you do what you do? You have these great businesses, but like what are you doing to like give back? So that was a really big challenge that was requested of me, and I was like, shortly after that time period, I heard of like a speech with Tim Tebow, and just
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. He's great.
his organization. I was like, man,
Right.
I'd love to give to that. That's a great thing that he's doing. But then I thought about it more. I was like, man, like it's great to like give that, to give in general, but and to give to his organization. But what would it look like if we were able to donate here in the Lehigh Valley? So that was a, kind of a combination of a lot of different things.
Because they do help trafficking victims, but it's
Yeah.
more international.
And-
Thank you for choosing us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I mean, some of the stories that they were talking about, it was insane just to think like, wow, this happens, right?
Right.
And but like, people can hear about these things but never do anything about it. So again, it comes back to the legacy. So like, I don't want to just hear something bad or hear someone in need and then not give. So I felt like, if we're running the business the way that we should be running the business, there's no way that we can't come up with 1% of the cost of our revenue and give it back to you guys, because what are we going to spend it on? Sure, it would go to a lot of great things within our company or giving it back to the employees, but I just feel like this is the one of the most important things that we could be donating to. And we did it last year, and we sat down with the team and everything, and we're like, hey, should we do something else? And I was like, but I really feel like this is what we should do, but let's reevaluate it. And then we were just like, yeah, it makes there's a lot of need in the world, but I think this is something that we could give to and really feel like this is doing something powerful. This is doing something for people's eternities, not just, I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. We
I think
do.
That's remarkable, honestly. It really is. Because we really are reliant on the generosity of our community, and it's a lot of small gifts and a few large gifts, and you're up there with the large givers, and honestly, we're very, very grateful. I can tell you for sure that it is making a lifelong, for generations to come, really, because when these women get their kids back and they see mom going to school, they see mom in recovery, that she's living a life sober, and that she's not numbing her pain with any substance, that she's going to treatment.
Yeah.
They change, and they're going to lead a totally different life because of mom choosing differently. And there are not other opportunities to do that offer 2 years to put your life back together. And then that lifelong sisterhood. We have one of our graduates serves on our board. One
Serves on another board that's
right in recovery.
That's another board, the recovery
center.
Yeah.
We have several that work for us and are informing this work in very strategic ways. So we're seeing them change the world. It's been wonderful to have a front row seat. I wouldn't have traded it for anything else, but I'm really happy to know that others will pick up this issue and bring it forward. So thank you. Honestly, it's remarkable.
It really is. You have no idea.
Yeah. Well, we have a really great team behind us. John's our sales manager, so he's been doing a great job. If we don't have the sales guy to sell those jobs.
Yeah.
So I know, John, you sit down with a ton of homeowners and you're going through the presentation, you're sharing, maybe the differences of why they can go with us versus going with a different company. So I don't know, maybe just share a little bit about, how you present that and maybe some emotional ties you have to Bloom within your sale.
Oh, within my personal life, I can say that what you guys do is amazing. I went to college for 4 years, and something that's not really talked about a lot is that there's a lot of sexual assault and abuse in schools, and it kind of gets buried under the rug.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people personally that have gone through it, and I know like the trauma and the life-changing experience that is, and how long it takes to really recover from it, if you ever really do fully recover from something like that. So it's something that I'm definitely passionate about, and that's why I really appreciate that he's the one that put us on this path to donate to you guys. When I talk to the homeowners, I kind of ask them if they donate, if there's anything important to them that they contribute to, and kind of let them know that if they do end up deciding to move forward with us, that you know, we're not a company that's going to take all the profit for ourselves, but, you know, we try to give it back to the community. And, you know, you guys are part of our community.
Wow.
You guys said that it is like a multinational thing, and you're very happy we chose you, and that's because he wants to help the community. We all want to help the community.
Yeah.
So, you know, fix the problems here
Right.
before you know, reach out further.
Yeah, make our community a safer place where
Yeah.
we can
And like
all
you said, I
thrive.
didn't know we were in the top 8. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy you say that, but when I was in high school, you know, there were talks about right over here at the promenade that people were getting snatched at the promenade. And I never thought anything of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really true or people were just saying that, but I was that young hearing about people being stolen at a movie theater. And me being young and naive, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Right.
But, I mean,
It's not always
don't
the
really think
case
about
where
it.
someone is stolen, like in the movie
Yeah.
Taken or
Yeah.
in that movie this summer. While that does
Yeah.
happen, the majority of victims are groomed by someone who does not have their best interests. You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of vulnerable youth, runaways, people of color are at greater risk for exploitation. And it starts out in very subtle ways,
Yeah.
you know, and ultimately does lead to a bondage
yeah.
that you really need escape from, mistake exit.
Would you say that it's usually someone that you know? Like, do you educate people on that? That, you know, someone who victimizes you is usually
Yes.
somebody that you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do talk, especially now with our outreach program and our prevention education, you know, talking with youth at a young age and circling back as they grow older to let you know. I mean, the fact is that 1 in 6 women and 1 in 8 men will be sexually assaulted before the age of 18.
Yeah.
And that is horrific. And I would say a large majority of the victims that we work with have been abused before puberty.
Right.
And so that really leads to just myriad issues. And you're right, it's not something you recover from, it's something you move through. And that you can find a life on the other side that's meaningful and beautiful, where you make choices and you're free is really what Bloom is all about.
Yeah. It's
So-
awesome.
Anything else?
We just say thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So much.
Thank you,
really.
you.
And if you ever, you know, anytime you want to know more, I want to give you one of these books to take with you. Actually, this is. Oops, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I have more of these downstairs, but
Okay.
would you take that? And that is just a photo project that the
Wow.
women in our program worked on, and you can read some of their stories. It's just a way that they've been able to reclaim their voice, and they actually just came in a couple weeks ago, and we're going to be happy for you to take that with you and share with your team, because that's some of the stories that these women have chosen to share.
Cool. Well, this is, you know, a great privilege, and very thankful for, you know, this book, and, you know, share it with the team and everything. So thank you. If we could just pray with you guys real quick,
Oh,
and we'll be
sure.
on
Thank
our
you.
way.
Yeah.
Dear God, thank you so much for Bloom for Women. We thank you for the work that they're doing, and the impact that they're making, and the sacrifices that they make as individuals, just to help other people and ultimately further your kingdom. So I pray that you just bless them. You would help more people hear about them that are in need, and also more organizations would lock hands with them and just grow the organization and with support. So just bless Vicky and Carol and all the work that they do. In Jesus' name, amen.
And God bless their business,
Yes.
Lord.
Make it
We thank you
flourish.
that they've put you first, Lord, and we just
Yes.
thank you for these young men, and
so much.
just bless their personal lives, their
Yes, God.
families, and give them favor as they go about their business, Lord, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.